very positive again. And I think what's happening, Jeff, this is one of those things where you and I in the club are at cross purposes with what the media is saying. The media is saying that because the Fed is maybe still cut 2 or 3 times, that therefore stocks are good. You and I both know that what this does is make it so we're not fighting the Fed, but makes it even more important that we analyze earnings. It doesn't do any good to do Fed speak. That has cost a lot of people a lot of money. As people sit on the sidelines waiting for the Fed to do something, what we do is plunge right in. We get in, we get our hands dirty with stocks like NVIDIA, with stocks like Broadcom, and yes, we'll be talking about Apple in a moment. But I think when you don't fight the Fed, Jeff, it's a good situation.
No, absolutely. And if you focus on the big earnings report last night and what is central to the biggest theme driving the market right now, AI, you heard really good things from Micron. We'll talk about them more in the rapid fire. But the big thing is that for this year, supply to be below demand for DRAM and NAND. That means their margins are going to improve. A lot of that is due to AI server demand driving this rapid growth for their high bandwidth memory. 2024 is already spoken for, Jim. And 25, they're saying it's on allocation.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked. I was reading the transcript, and you get everything's good. The server's good, PC's good. There's obviously troughing a quarter ahead on a lot of these different NAND regular products that they've had for years. And then suddenly you get to where they're talking about the high bandwidth memory that goes in to say someone who buys Blackwell. Dell would go buy it, for instance, put it together. And you realize, oh my, I've never heard Sanjay Mehrotra ever say anything like this, that they literally are spoken for 2025. And by the way, the gross margins on these chips are 3 times of the regular chip. So Micron deserves to be up. And I got to tell you, frankly, like when Dell had its step function move, people are beginning to realize, Jeff, that there's a lot of money going to be made in 2024 and 25, not 2027, 2028. With things that are related to generative AI and accelerated computing.
Yeah, I think that was one of the keys of the interview that you've had with Jensen Huang over the last couple of days, is that we're in the beginning of this AI ramp. And I know we can go on and on about NVIDIA, but I think one thing that would be really beneficial for club members, Jim, is hearing that firsthand experience you had yesterday trying out the NVIDIA Omniverse in the Apple's Vision Pro.
I'm glad you mentioned it. Now, look, let's understand. Today is the day where Jonathan Cantor, who is in charge of antitrust for the Justice Department, is going to go after Apple hammer and tongs. Do I like what they're doing? Absolutely not. Do I think it creates a buying opportunity by tomorrow? Yes, I do. And one of the reasons why, not just because Tim Cook's in Shanghai and people are lining up to go to the store, but because there's a business-to-business application that Jensen Huang has discovered, which allows you to stream the Omniverse, that means tie up their supercomputers, right to your Vision Pro. And when you do that, things look very different than the way they currently look in Vision Pro. You can do an amazing series of things using the resolution of the Vision Pro and industrial. You want to adjust a factory, you can adjust it by looking through the Vision Pro. You want to pick out a car, you do it looking through your Vision Pro. You want to be able to build a giant ship like the Korean ship companies. They should all be wearing Vision Pro. HVAC people, engineers, welders, because it all ties in and you can see clearly what people are looking at. Best example being that you're in a car and when you step out, you're moving like you're in a car and it's actually you're just in a seat in a chair somewhere. I don't think any of the companies that are involved with it, and that I just mentioned, whether it be the oil companies, whether it be the sugar companies, I don't think they've thought about this other than Siemens. Siemens, the giant manufacturer. And I'm going on about this because the most natural use case is Apple business to business. And I know that we're very early on because when Jensen tackles something, he's always very early on. But then it turns out that 18 months later, you get what happened to NVIDIA. So let them sell Apple. Them meaning the people who believe the Justice Department is going to have a good case and there's going to be something that's resolved within the next 60 days. It's probably maybe next 5 years. I say use Apple and be a little more visionary, be a little more like Jensen and recognize that Apple may have its first really needle-moving business-to-business application ever in its history.
Let's move on to Broadcom next. So yesterday during the morning meeting, you were saying buy it ahead of the AI infrastructure event that they were holding, and it's delivered. So some of the big takeaways I found from the event are their current custom AI ASIC, that's their custom AI accelerator chip. Well, that pipeline continuing to sell into 2026 for their two main customers right now, believed to be Alphabet and Meta. But this was the big news too, is that they announced a third AI ASIC customer. Many believe it to be TikTok, ByteDance. So keep in mind, these chips are designed for specific workloads, leading to lower power consumption. But when you're talking about multiple years as well of these sales into these big customers that are just spending billions of dollars on chips, it's a very good sign for Broadcom.